It's pretty cold in here today. It's very cold outside. As you can see over here in the UK, the trees outside the window are all cold and still. And we're looking forward to the returning light. So very soon, on sort of the 1st or 2nd of Feb, some people celebrate slightly different dates, we come to one of the pagan festivals. And that pagan festival is Imbolc. It's spelled Imbolk. I think that's the Celtic name for the festival, and it's halfway between midwinter and equinox. So it's the pivotal point towards where we start to get more daylight than we had before, and to me, it feels like a breath inwards and a chance to refresh a little bit. And on the subject of trees, I'm working on a new collection that is inspired by 5 particular types of tree, and I'm working on the metaphoric meaning that I'm deriving from that tree. I haven't got there yet with everything, still working on it. So far I've got the sycamore. Now they're all painted on sort of textured paper where I've used handmade papers. This has even got actual sycamore seeds that I've collected from my runs, and it's got it's painted with a gold chrome to make the tree, so you can see the light reflecting across the gold. So it means that the trunk of the tree and the branches really show up. So that's the sycamore one. Then I think this one's my favourite actually. I can't decide yet. This is rowan. So I love the colours in this. That beautiful yellow ochre against this metallic tealy colour. And again, I've used this gold pen, it's a gold chrome, to create the leaves of the tree. And this one's actually got gold leaf on it as well, which really picks out the light. So that's rowan. Then the next one is oak. I'm not quite sure about this one yet. I think the oak tree does stand out quite nicely actually, and I've used the seasonal colour palette of terracotta and greens, which are quite in at the moment, and I've layered it with real oak leaves that I collected last year, pressed and dried, and again sort of textured paper, and then the chrome paint, which really picks up the light, and the gold leaf as well. So that's oak. And then this one, oh, I do like this one too. This is willow. Nice and simple, but painted with some beautiful greens, sort of sagey greens, a bit more blocky. And then the willow tree again is painted using that lovely chrome paint, so it really stands out and reflects. So as you walk past it in the room, it will begin to change quite significantly on how it looks. And they're designed as a collection, so they all fit together. And today I'm working on the final one, which is pine. And I'm going to be using my trusty chrome pens. So I use these. These are chrome marker pens, high gloss liquid chrome. So to give them a bit of a shake, to wake up the paint inside. And then I'm going to go straight to work on the pine. So I'm going to just twizzle the camera around now so that you can see this one. So this one, again, is using the 2026 trending colour palette of burgundy, which goes very nice with the easel, actually. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark out the location of the pine, and I want it sort of fairly central in the painting. So there's about the centre, and I'm going to start sort of down here with the ground where the pine will be resting, and working out how high I go, because pine trees are very tall. That's part of the metaphor. they sort of reach out above the canopy of all the other trees, and they're very straight growing. So I'm trying to draw a straightish line. Just got to concentrate a little bit whilst I get this line pretty straight, and then I can thicken out the trunk to be as thick as I want it to be. So I'm very conscious that I don't want to make it too thick, otherwise I won't be able to get the height of the tree. And that may be enough, maybe slightly thicker. And now I'm going to sketch out just the rough outline of where the canopy of the pine will be. So this is just a rough outline sketch. Make sure the tree is nice and balanced. And it's a representational painting. It's not meant to be a portrait of a pine tree. So I'm drawing as the leaves of the pine tree would be. They tend to fall away in this kind of shape. Okay, that's about right. I'm just going to add in just a few lower branches. Again, I can thicken them out later, and add one with a bit more character to it, so a bit more of a bend to the branch, and then some more up here. And then start to bring in the branches for the canopy of the tree. Right at the top. And then I can begin to sort of work on the colour. So hopefully you can see that. Probably can't bring it much closer. Maybe if I twist it around slightly, that might work. That's a bit better. So now it's just a case of colouring in the main parts of the leaves and the tree and thickening up the trunk. So I'm just putting a small amount of ground here just to anchor the tree into its spot. And I'm just going to thicken up that trunk at the bottom just a little bit. And as I work up the page, just bring the trunk in slightly. Because trees obviously narrow as they grow taller. Give it a nice solid trunk at the bottom. See, that's probably enough, really. Any thicker than that, and it won't match the height of the tree. So I'm just colouring in the gaps. So now I can start the work on the canopy. I do really love these chrome pens because they give such a gorgeous reflective surface. Once they're dry, you can really see the sort of shapes, almost mirror-like. I live quite close to a place called Canopy, and Canopy, for those of you that know it, is it's run by the Forestry Commission. I think it's a managed forest basically. It was originally planted after. I'll just turn it around so I can speak to you. It was originally planted after the Second World War, I think, to replenish the UK's stocks of wood, because we need wood for lots of different functions, burning, making furniture, making paper. Poor trees get used for a heck of a lot of things. And you need to be able to grow them like a crop. And that's partly what I think the Forestry Commission does. But what has actually resulted here in the UK, which is not true in the States, because you have such vast expanses of natural wilderness. It's not, if you are in the States and you come to the UK, you might feel like you've been put in a little box because it's so small here. We're just a tiny island, and we've lost so much of our wild space that we're basically just patches of farmland and occasional clusters that we call a forest and is just really not. But we've got what we've got, and Cannock Chase is one of those places, and it is quite big. I've got lost on at least 4 or 5 occasions there, and it's mainly full of these pine evergreen type trees. They do mix other species in, but the majority of the wood are these pine trees, just like this one. And it's so lovely to walk there when you walk underneath a canopy of pine trees. It's a totally different feeling to walking in a deciduous forest, more of an ancient woodland. Not that we get the opportunity to do that very often, because very few of us actually have these sorts of places on our doorsteps, unfortunately, anymore. They get cut down to build houses and roads and all that stuff. So the ancient woodlands are not really at our disposal for walking in anywhere near as much as they used to be. And so we have these Forestry Commission managed forest areas that basically become our woodlands to go and explore and feel closer to nature again. And trees have a huge benefit to our mental health and well-being, but they also actually have a role to play in our physical health as well, directly, because they produce chemicals. I can't remember the name of the chemicals, but they're basically phytochemicals, a bit like plant hormones. So when you breathe in that lovely pine smell, you're actually also taking in the chemicals that the tree is giving out that are good for you. And when I say good for you, I mean that they've been shown to lower heart rate and blood pressure. So they have positive benefits on health conditions that are quite common in Western world now. And there's something just more restful about being under trees, beneath the trees. So I'm just building out a little bit more. I think I'm going to come down here with one slightly lower branch. Okay, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to swap to a different pen colour. Different pen size, and just put in some of these smaller branches. I think definitely less is more when it comes to these sorts of designs. So I'm actually going to stop there. So that was like a dead quick live, which shows you how I create my tree pieces. So these 5 pieces will be available soon to buy. So if you're interested in them, then please drop a comment below, or better still, email me at Claire, that's C-L-A-I-R-E, Claire at clairevalentineart.com, and tell me which one you like, and I'll get back to you with prices and postage. And I can post globally, but most easily UK and the United States. So I hope you enjoy seeing these pieces come together. I'll be sharing lots more now that they're finished, with them being framed. And I'm also going to get you involved with the message and the meaning behind the pieces of work. So that's all for today. Bye for now.